What is up, cheeseheads? Welcome back to another episode of BAM GPG. So, you're going to need to sit down, strap in for this one, folks. Breathe a little bit because what went down yesterday, Sunday Night Football game of the week, was absolute NFL mayhem. Cowboys, Packers, AT&T Stadium. It truly was a shootout for the ages all the way to the finish of the game. It was a 40-40 tie in overtime. So a tie, right? We'll get into that a little bit later on here, but can you believe it, Bryson? 40-40. This game had everything you asked for, right? It had the fireworks, the lead changes, all the way up. The gut punches. Enough highlight plays to fill an entire season, really. So Jordan Love, for all you Jordan Love haters, you're going to hate him some more after this one. Jordan Love, he looked like a possessed man out there on Sunday night. He was 31 of 43, 337 yards, and 3 touchdowns. He was carving up Dallas's defense all night, throwing darts to players like Romeo Doubs, like it was practice out there, right? With just ease. Doubs, career high. Congrats to him. 3 touchdowns on the game. 3 touchdowns, Bryson. He was Jordan Love's kind of go-to meltdown machine, and he wouldn't stop making plays for the Packers. Romeo Doubs, that connection was deadly all night between Love and Doubs. So want to get into it here, Bryson. We know it ended in the tie. We're in 2025. NFL games shouldn't be ending in ties still, right? I need closure. I think we all need closure from these games, right? Especially after a game like that where it's constant back and forth, back and forth. We need to have a winner in these games. What's that look like after you exhaust that 10-minute overtime? Maybe you go to kind of that college format where you keep going back and forth until you have a team that doesn't score, right? So I don't know. I don't like the ties. It's defeating, right? It doesn't feel like a victory Monday because it's not, but you're confused because it's also not a loss. I would lean more in the loss column as a tie than I would as a win, right? You don't feel good about a tie, especially this day and age in the NFL. There's no need for it. I think anyone watching this game was ready for some more. It was fireworks all night, back and forth. But I want to get into a few things with the Packers here, Bryson. So obviously Jordan Love had a spectacular game. He's a top 10 quarterback in this league. There's no doubt about that. Setting my bias aside as a Packer fan, you can't really argue it. And if you are, you're not watching the game. You're not looking at the key stats for him, right? You're not watching the game, how he managed it, how he throws the ball down the field. You're just truly not analyzing it the correct way if you think otherwise. Now, with that, I thought Matthew Golden had a much better game, but Romeo Doubs, he does not get enough credit for the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah.
He's Mr. Consistent, right? You need a big pass. Who are you looking for, right? You thought maybe some other wide receivers would step up like Matthew Golden, tight end like Tucker Kraft, but it always seems to be Romeo Doubs who's coming up with the big catches here.
I just want to mention too, not next week because I have a bye week next week, but week 6, I'm pretty sure Christian Watson is coming.
Yeah, it's going to be huge when we can get Christian Watson back. That's going to open up the field a heck of a lot more because, as we know, Christian Watson's that threat. He's the guy that can really stretch the field, stretch that defense a little bit thin there in the secondary. So it's certainly going to be nice to have him back. And when Reed ever does come back as well.
Tyreek also had the same injury as him today too.
Well, Tyreek didn't. I don't think he tore his ACL. We'll find out. But he had that dislocated knee. He is going to be out for the season. That's terrible news there. You hate to see that from anyone. But getting back into it, Romeo Doubs, Mr. Consistent for the Packers. I think it's safe to say that Romeo Doubs is probably Green Bay's wide receiver 1 at this point, right? Anytime you need a big catch, anytime you need to find that spark to get things going, it's always that connection with Dobbs that kind of starts things for the Packers.
Yes.
Now, I've been seeing a lot about Parsons. Oh, he didn't show up. He didn't do this, didn't do that during the game. Well, a matter of fact, this was Parsons' best game of the season when you look at his pressure rate on the quarterback. I believe it was 94.3 pressure rate, win rate on the quarterback during this game. So Parsons' presence was definitely felt there in Dallas. He only had one sack, but that pressure was forcing Dak to get the ball out a lot quicker than
Yeah.
what he normally would. Now, did Green Bay capitalize that in their secondary? No, we absolutely did not. Hobbs and Valentine were getting cooked all night on that side. And Keyshawn Nixon didn't have a great game in coverage. I think he maybe had one or two pass breakups during the game, but for the most part, Green Bay secondary did not play well this game. Our pass rush was there. Again, Lucas Van Ness has been trending up week after week. So Lucas Van Ness is sneakily, he's kind of
Yeah.
sneaking up in that pass rush category for Green Bay. And
He's probably never gonna beat Micah Parsons, but
no, Micah Parsons actually
yeah.
leading the league in pressure rate this year. I believe he's about 4/10 of a point higher than where Myles Garrett is at this point. So Micah Parsons, for all of you that like to hate on anything Green Bay, he is leading the league in pressure rates. He did have a fantastic game in terms of pressure against Dallas, and he had that game tying sack as well, right? But I want to get into this, Bryson, because I hate to say games don't come down to just one play, but sometimes they do, right? Sometimes they do, especially in a game like this. Sometimes they come down to that one play. And for me, it's that special teams play. This is
Yes.
2 weeks in a row where we've
That-
had a field goal or PAT attempt blocked. And it's not acceptable. Not acceptable. You know it was an issue coming into this week, and right off the bat, you have it blocked.
You're
They
supposed to have one of those at the maximum in
Yeah.
the year.
Yeah. And they did it again this week. They blocked the PAT, returned it back for 2. So that was a 3-point swing right there. You wipe that off, put that 3 in Green Bay's favor.
One.
It's a different game. Well, they scored 2, Bryson. So
Yeah.
it was a 3-point swing. We didn't get the point and they got 2. So that's a 3-point difference for Green Bay right there. And to me, it came down to that, right? A lot of people don't believe in it comes down to just one play, but in a game like this, it does, right? My opinion is it
most
does.
games don't, but this one did.
It does. When you're in a shootout, neither defense showed up to play that night. Green Bay's pass rush was good. Dak was just a little bit better. Dak looked fantastic. He had a great night as well, but that special teams, Rich Bisaccia, it's bad, right? It's been bad for a few years now. He's the highest paid coordinator in the game. Something's got to change. He's got to be on the hot seat. Something's got to change with that, right? And I don't want to hear these Matt LaFleur press conferences. The defense is fine. The special teams is fine, because it's not fine, right? Defense is, yes. Special teams, they're not fine. That's 2 weeks in a row where we've seen a kick blocked, right? And and I'm get more and more confused with our punt and kick returns. Kick returns, you're starting to see some continuity out there with Bo Melton and Savion Williams, but it seems like a rotating door with the punt returns. And maybe I got to pay attention a little bit further across the league, but I just don't like that. I like having, a set guy out there. We're already low on wide receivers, and then you have Matthew Golden out there returning a punt, and we saw him get decked. You're potentially taking out another one of your star wide receivers.
Luckily, he didn't get hurt.
Yeah, thankfully. So I don't like the idea of it, but and again, you see different people back there at all times. It's constantly rotating. I don't like that. Find your guy. Special teams, Green Bay is a mess. Rich Bisaccia's got a mess going on there. Something needs to happen. He's got to go, or he's got to figure it out quick for Green Bay on that special teams. Enough of that, Bryson. We'll get into the defense. Again, pass rush looked great. Secondary, they got to clean some things up.
Special teams has caused us both of our losses. Well,
it has. Yeah, special team, absolutely. Green Bay, if it weren't for the special teams, Green Bay would potentially be sitting at 4-0 on the season. You had that block kick in Cleveland, a game-winning kick, would have probably been a game-winning kick. That was blocked in Cleveland. And then you had a PAT attempt, again, a 3-point swing in a close game like that. Probably would have won the game for us, right? If you omit that from the stat line. So special teams, something's got to change there.
Yeah, because we could be sitting at 4-0 right now.
Yeah, I'm absolutely the only reason we are not. And again, I understand there's going to be some people that say it doesn't come down to one play. Well, it kind of does this time. Special teams shouldn't be something that you worry about affecting a game for you, and it shouldn't be something you worry about affecting a game for you. Other teams seem to figure it out just quickly. And then I want to get into Matt LaFleur a little bit, right? That last drive at the end of the game. It did not feel like Green Bay was playing to win the game. It felt like conservative play calls. You saw a few runs sprinkled in there. The clock's dwindling down. There didn't seem to be a whole lot of urgency in, amongst the players to get to the line, get the ball snapped.
Yeah.
And that comes back on Matt LaFleur, right? These Russ offenses should have been something instilled in them in training camp. Why they're not like every other team rushing to the ball, getting a snap off, and having time on the clock to potentially come up with a better play there at the end of the game to take a shot at the end zone. Really, they only took one shot at the end zone there after driving down on that final drive. They played not to lose, and they didn't lose. Kudos to them for that, but they didn't play to win. And that comes down to Matt LaFleur. It just seems like Green Bay comes out hot.
Yeah.
You see them, they get the lead, they get up big, and then the conservative play calls start coming in, right?
Yeah.
It seems like all gas, all gas, all gas, and then it breaks the rest of the game, right?
Yeah.
That's got to change for Green Bay. LaFleur's got to change that up. We got to have more of a sense of urgency when we're out on that field there. We can't be padding. You get a lead, you can't be complacent with that, right? So, not a big fan of that. There's some things to clean up, right, in the coaching staff. No, absolutely. So special teams, offense, Jordan Love balled out, but LaFleur's got to clean some things up on the offensive side, and then Halfley's got to clean some things up on that secondary. Now, Green Bay's run defense wasn't great again. Josh Jacobs had a spectacular game. I believe he had 157 total yards and a touchdown. So Josh Jacobs, phenomenal game. Run blocking, terrible again, right? So we know we have issues on the offensive line. This bye week it's truly coming at the right time. We need it. We need to get that offensive line. We need to get Zach Tom back in there at right tackle and really kind of play to our strengths amongst that offensive line, right? Jordan Morgan, I think he's better suited at guard, although we've been having to shuffle him a lot to tackle because of the injuries we've been seeing. So getting that group back healthy, getting the guys in the right place, and
Yep.
sustaining that health, right? We got to be able to sustain that throughout the season. It's big. It's big, right? The offensive line is everything runs through that offensive line. If you can't block, you're not going to be able to run the ball. You're not going to have time to throw the ball, and eventually something's going to give. So this bye week, it comes at the right time. Hopefully we can get our guys healthy on that offensive line. And when they are healthy,
And then we play the Bengals next week,
yeah, the week after our bye, we do play the Cincinnati
which
Bengals.
should be an easy one.
Should be. I thought these last 2
Yeah.
weeks should be too, but there's a heck of a lot to clean up on that field. Run blocking, it's got to improve for Green Bay. It hasn't been good all season. Injuries aside, it's been trending down. It never was great to start the season on run blocking. So we need to get that going, get Josh Jacobs involved more, and LaFleur's got to trust Love a little bit more, open up that playbook to him, keep the foot on the gas and get going. Special teams got a lot to clean up there. Rich has got a lot of work to do. Otherwise, he's got to go, right? It's been long enough. Special teams has struggled. But we'll be back with some more, Bryson.
Yes.
And
Yep.
as always,
It's Go Pack Go.